Any amendments, additions, deletions?
They're great spell check.
Correct.
You got your street going,
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Julius, because he was not here, carried. Item number 2, Kristine Giotto, Mallory Road, Mohawk Street, minor subdivision. I just want to make a note that on the agenda itself, it said that the zoning was agricultural. It's been determined that it should have been residential agricultural. We just took a look at the map, so I want to be clear about that. Herb, you want to tell us a little bit about this?
Sure. Everybody has the map in front. It's basically a one parcel being cut out of the larger parcel. So it's a 1 to 2, what we call a 1 to 2 subdivision. You've got the map. If you look at the parcel that's being created, it's 1.39 acres in size. It has the required frontage that is needed. And in talking to Joe Booth, it meets all setback requirements and is perfectly fine. Mr. Kristine, who's worked very hard on this, has met with me on several occasions, provided me with the deed description, which we've reviewed, and it's acceptable.
Any questions? Can I get a
I
motion?
make a motion, we accept.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, carried. Okay. Okay. Yeah, can I sign them now? Sure. Thanks.
All you have to do is sign the pages at the front.
Do I do it over here, Heather? Or is she going to sign it now?
Okay. This way you can take it with you, but make sure you file it. Call me tomorrow if you're here.
Oh, this is my line.
Yeah, this is not signed.
This is the one that actually expired.
Yes. Hold on, there's one more. Take off
Give me promise tomorrow, let me know. Thank you. Appreciate it.
once they get you. Okay? All right.
Item number 3 for tonight was the continuation of the public hearing from December 10th. Anybody would like to speak on this, we just ask you to speak your name and your address, so we can put you in our minutes. Is there anybody from the floor that would like to speak about the special use permit for the 8-foot fence to be located on the House of Good Shepherd's property? Okay, well, there on the left-hand side.
Me?
Yep.
Oh, okay. I'm Kristine Solo, Trey Pass. I live at 316 Winchester Drive. We did meet with Brian and Kathy last week. Made a lot of headway. Honestly, they're not required by the state to put up this fence, but he's doing it, which is a smart move after we had this meeting with him. We did make other leeway as far as putting either hedges up or a fence going between properties. I'm for it. So as much as I don't want to see this program, it's for the benefit of the kids. As much as I don't want to have pedophiles, rapists, whatever there, if it can benefit them and make progress moving forward, I'm for it. We also talked about putting slats in the fence as some kind of barrier. We went back, Brian, I think you went back to the original planning, and there was not a fence required when they built House Good Shepherd, but there was shrubs, trees, whatever that was supposed to be taken care of. So there's some things that we're still going to work out with that. But I'm for it. So kudos to you guys. Is what we didn't know is this program has been in the works for over a year, and it is slated to start in a couple weeks, February 1st. So we didn't know that. So we're for it. As much as I don't want to look out the window and see it, if that can be a barrier to stop these kids from coming in my yard and we can put up another one, I'm in.
Thank you very much. Yes.
My name is John Constance. I'm one of the assistant fire chiefs for Yorkville. And some questions that we have about the fence is, are we going to be able to have access to get our equipment around? There's standpipes that we have to access around the building, and we have to do a whole 360 of the entire building in an alarm. And are we going to be able to get our trucks in and out where we have to, not to hinder our fire operations?
So basically you have two questions. And the way the hearing goes forth is that we take comments from the audience. We don't have a question and answer period, but we will give the applicant a few minutes to talk about the meeting that he had with the residents and anything he would like to add. So hopefully he'll answer your questions
Thank you.
at that time. Is there anybody else that would like to comment? Yes.
Fernando Sortino, 314 Winchester Drive. What she said. Well, also, we came to agreement that, I don't know if they said for sure they were going to put slats in the back part at least. So I wonder if we can also get them on the side, because it sits like kind of on a diagonal, so we can actually see the back of the building and the side of the building. The front and the other side, don't care.
Is there any other comments from anyone in the audience? Okay, Mr. Ryan.
No, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Hi, Kelly Thomas, 309 Winchester Drive, and I agree with Christina as well.
I do want to read one item into the record. We got an email from Kathy Martin. She said, I attended a meeting with the House of Good Shepherd regarding the concerns the neighborhood might have regarding the new program being implemented in February. The new program is happening. For the safety of our neighborhood, I support the request for a fence to surround a particular building that will house these teens. Hopefully this fence will continue these teens from running through the area. The House of Good Shepherd is willing to work with the closest neighbors to make the perimeter fencing area as hidden as possible. Thank you. And she lives at 302 Washington Drive. Is there anybody else that would like to speak on this matter? Okay, the applicant, Brian McKee, the House of Good Shepherd. Is there anything else you'd like to present before we consider a vote on the matter?
Maybe just tying up a couple of the loose ends that they were talking about. So with regard to the slats, there are vinyl pieces of material that actually weave through chain link to create a visual barrier as well as just a fence barrier. We had an internal discussion, and we will support as much vinyl as these folks want. We will likely leave the rest of the fence open just for the purpose of surveillance and safety. other side of the fence. The fence is designed to work for two purposes.
So the request was that you put it on one of the sides, you're saying that's acceptable?
One of the sides, and it sounds like part of another, and yes, it is.
Okay.
We also, as was discussed, we reviewed the original plan that was approved. In fact, some of the foliage has died, and we had removed pieces of it to actually, while it was contrary to what it was intended for, we did it not knowing that we had made that commitment 20 years ago. We received a quote, and at our cost, we will replace whatever foliage is necessary in order to create the viewpoint barrier. We did have a discussion about a longer fence that would go down the entire property line. We agree that that's kind of complicated when we think about the ability to get the machinery in there. We would have to find the actual line. A lot of it's grown in. We would like to continue to work with those folks to conceptualize exactly what it would look like and determine what it would take in order to do that. So at this point, we have a commitment to our original commitment, and we can do that in the spring. What we talked about is we may want to talk about the fence beforehand, so we don't put in foliage and then turn around and remove it to install the fence. So those conversations will be ongoing, but just for clarity, we did not commit to put a fence down the perimeter line. There were some other things with regard to garbage pickup. It had to do with smoking. Those things we've addressed. So the smoking, we've relocated where our employees are going to smoke. They can't smoke on the campus, but they won't be smoking on these folks' land. We additionally looked into our dumpster pickups and have engaged our vendor to make sure that whenever possible, the pickups are happening during daylight hours and not overnight. We learned that, in fact, while we were on a Utica route, despite the fact of not being in Utica, the fact is that the vendor was saying that they were prohibited from doing pickups other than at night because that was a Utica ordinance. So we're still working in between and trying to make it a little bit less disruptive for the neighbors.
As long, hopefully.
We will be, what I can do is be conscious of the daylight hours and use we have a lot of basketball fans. We had a lot of basketball fans back in the day, so we would only use that as a last resort.
Does anybody have any questions?
Could you please address the fire department's concern of access to the building during a fire if the fence is close to a perimeter?
Certainly. So what we're envisioning, we have not completely spec'd out. We've got estimates at this point. We're expecting a double gate so that ingress of a fire engine or any kind of machinery would be possible. As far as their ability to go around the perimeter, they would have access to go around the perimeter of the building. I don't know exactly what the footage is required, but what I would say is that through the Office of Children and Family Services, we cannot be certified unless we meet all the fire code regulations. So what I would say is that in the event that the fire code officer from OCFS or anybody locally says it has to be pushed back, we would push it back to the extent that's necessary in order to make sure that we meet the codes without encroaching any further on the neighbors. In the event that we had to do that, we would come back to the planning board.
Reiner, any questions?
No.
Julius?
One of my big questions, we talked about timelines we brought up February 1st with this. We were talking about fence and installation timeframes. What are you actually looking at for installation timeframes? You mentioned about accommodating sharply moving the fence line. And again, you have it here in December. Is the plan to install the fence as provided on the drawings that were presented to us, or will it be something different? What's the time frame we should be looking at? And should fire service or the state fire service, I'm not sure exactly correctly, changes that, what do you envision that change of obligation to that?
So as of first of all, from our original drawing, there is a slight change that actually brings the fence closer to the building and not further away. It was a detail because we had to accommodate a berm and a walking path that we hadn't accounted for when we did the original drawing. So I have a second one that reflects that change. It's relatively insignificant, but I'll tell you that's we want to submit that to the planning board. As far as installation, so for the foliage, we wouldn't install that until we can. We intend to move forward. We've got our vendor ready, and in the event that we receive the permit, they would install the fence forthwith.
Bill, any questions? I was going to ask what kind of foliage you were going to install. Do you have an idea of what you were going to do?
Some hemlock, I didn't bring that with me. Some hemlock, my understanding is that we originally agreed to bring bushes. Evidently, those are now rated as invasive species. So we get something that's comparable that is not on the invasive species list. But I don't have those specifics with us. It would be as hardy or more hardy than what we have right now. We're not looking at planting flowers. We're actually looking at staging this so that the larger trees fall behind and there are some smaller ones in front that are bushy looking that can grow up and fill in the space.
Yeah, otherwise, the over cover of the larger trees will prevent your new ones from establishing.
Yes, we have some land so we can come in. That walking path is on the land, and there's a green space that's of varying width. Sometimes it's 20 feet, sometimes it's 40. We would come into that area if we needed to for the reasons they were talking.
Any more questions? I do want to make note, Herb and Dora mentioned to me that we did hear back from United County. They have no recommendation on the 239. Asked them for the recommendation they have none for this project. I want to commend the House of Good Shepherd for going the extra mile. We asked you last month, which was kind of unusual, to really go back to your neighbors, and you did. I actually went to the meeting last week, I didn't say a word, but I did go, and it was nice to see the interaction, and that's what the neighborhood's really all about. So I commend you for that. So, can I get a motion from the floor to approve the special use permit for the 8-foot fence to be located on the House of Good Shepherd property? Can I just make a note, what is the actual name or building number or description for the minutes?
It is the Mabel Avila Children's Shelter.
Milton.
Milton, Avalon, Milton.
Milton.
Sorry.
Yeah, I didn't think it. Milton.
It's
Avila.
Max,
Yes.
M-A-C-S,
Yeah.
it's Max for sure. That's what we were building.
So can I get a motion from the floor?
It's very good that you put in a ACA review and acceptance before they do the fence by, who's the fire district that you have to have approval or review from, besides Yorkville? Yorkville expressed a concern. You mentioned it wasn't state fire. Who will do the final review of fire?
The Office of Children and Family Services.
Jason Perkins is the fire chief. We'll stand fast.
So I think they would have to see the plan and sign off and stuff.
Would you like to make a motion?
Or maybe I should just have an approval of Office of Children and Family Services for fire access around the perimeter of the building and appropriate, I don't think I can legally ask for the article.
No.
You have to be that.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, carried.
It is modified.
Okay.
I can leave that document, I have it. I can leave it before we leave. So that's easier.
We're just going to need to,
You want to break it?
sure, right. Is there any other business?
Yeah.